This episode was way more controversial than it should have been. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now, I usually don't do this sort of thing, but I felt with this episode, there's a lot of unfinished business in my mind, which I feel like I should address. Now, I imagine lots of people were left feeling confused, broken, and angry, as well as feeling awestruck, amazed, and pleasured by the events of today's episode. Whatever label you want to put on it, a lot of emotions were hurled about today. I personally enjoyed episode 66, but a lot of you didn't. I understand why you might be upset. Right now, we're going to talk about why people felt angry, why it's okay to feel angry, and why I felt personally satisfied with the events of the episode. Episode 66 of Dragonball Super is the main conclusion of the future Trunks arc. This episode had a lot going on. We had Vegito, we had Trunks, we had Zamasu going insane, as well as the best ending that we could have hoped for. There are a lot of positives in this episode, and I think if you go watch it again, you will feel a lot better the second time around. The main point of contention that I can see from all the comments and the tweets and everything else is the supposed retcon of the Potara fusion. I mean, what even is a retcon? To me right now, the word's lost all meaning, but according to whatever you type in Google, retcon means a piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events, typically used to facilitate a dramatic plot shift or account for an inconsistency. Oh, that happened for sure, and most people hated that. The new nugget of information in question is that the Potara fusion is only permanent if you are a Supreme Kai, or a resident of the home world of the Kais, or a Shinjin, which is what Kibito is. Ever since we first heard of the Potara fusion back in the Buu saga, we were safe to assume that the permanence covered all life forms. So why does Goasu know about the 1 hour time limit of a Potara fusion to mortal beings, and the Elder Kai and Supreme Kai don't? The Elder Kai and Supreme Kai are from Universe 7, and Goasu is from Universe 10. Their histories are somewhat different, so for all we know, the Potara fusion may have had more experimentation in Universe 10. Goasu might have more personal experience about the fusion. There's a lot of differences going on here. We don't know the long-term history of Universe 10, and that is important. Now, I know that people are going to throw back at me saying that the Elder Kai said it was permanent, and therefore that counts for everything. As far as we know, the Elder Kai may have never seen a Potara fusion where neither party member was a Kai or a Shinjin. Yes, Elder Kai fused with an old witch, but the Elder Kai is a Supreme Kai, so that counts as a permanent fusion. I guess the first defusing of Vegeta wasn't down to Buu's stomach acid or nasty air, like we were led to believe up until now. It was just down to a time limit, which was then further reduced due to Super Vegito. We know how it all works with the fusion dance. If you're in Super Saiyan 3 or in Super Saiyan 4, it cuts down on the time dramatically. So instead of an hour for the Potara fusion, with Vegito in the Super arc, we got a roughly about 10 minutes. We're not quite sure on the time specifically. That, I think, goes some way to answering that. Now, a lot of people were really upset that Vegito didn't get the win against Zamasu. Doesn't that also contradict everyone else's desire to let other characters get the win for a change? For Super to not be the Goku and Vegeta show? I'm kind of a bit confused here, guys. The ending we got was perfect. Trunks started all this mess, and so he felt he must end it. He was responsible for all the events of the arc, so he took it upon himself to fix this mess on his own when it came down to it. He had the help of Goku and Vegeta, which is what he wanted. He was the one to put the blade in Zamasu and cut him in half as he so deserved. Sorry, I still have a little bit of bloodlust left in me. He had the strength to rid the world of Zamasu and Goku Black. That is the mark of a really well-rounded character. Good on you, Trunks. No wonder why everyone loves you. Now, I can understand why the Super Spirit Bomb Spirit Saiyan sword thingy might be considered as a cop-out technique for Trunks, but really, I think it's somewhat believable. Now, I know I sort of went over this in my episode review of 66, but really, we don't know the events of Trunks' training in the 9 years between Fight for the Future and the beginning of the Future Trunks arc in Super. We don't know every single thing he did. We know that he went to train with Supreme Kai. We know he didn't break the Z-Sword and unlock Elder Kai and therefore gain the mystic ability that Gohan got in the Buu Saga of Z. He could have bumped into Goku for all we know. He could have been told about the Spirit Bomb, not necessarily taught it, but made aware of it. And maybe some kind of machinations happened and the Spirit Bomb manifested itself in some way. That does need a little bit of explanation, I do give you that, but there's a lot of possibilities that could have happened in those 9 years. In any case, Trunks' will to help the world carried him through that fight. And I know that people complained that, oh, he's Super Saiyan 2, so why was he able to take on a merged god? Well, if you think about it, he is a Super Saiyan 2 fully mastered, potentially knocking on the door of Super Saiyan Blue, having the energy of Goku and Vegeta, having the energy of the entire planet, as well as the spirit to fight. So, there's a lot of energy in that little body. Where's it gonna go? Straight in Zamasu's stomach. Just the place I want it to. I think the main issue we're having here is that we're trying to compare apples to oranges. The Dragon Ball Z of the 1990s and 2016's Dragon Ball Super. It's been upwards of 13 years for most fans of the series in the West since we saw Vegeta for the first time, and we fell in love with his strength, his character, his personality, and how he just dominated Super Buu. It felt so good at the time. So ever since then, we've yearned for his return. Nostalgia goggles have gotten in the way. So of course when we found out that Vegeta was about to make a return in Super, people were rejoicing. And just as quickly as he arrived, we lost that. So yeah, we're bound to feel frustrated. Of course we are. Nearly everyone on my Twitter feed was extremely hurt by this revelation. And so they should be. Toei ran the risk of causing friction by cutting last week's preview the way they did. It was made to cause hype, generate attention for their series, and boost ratings and boost revenue and boost everything else. It worked. But when we saw the episode, what we got was a lot different. Now that we've seen the final result, people feel duped. It wasn't Vegito securing the win. It wasn't Vegito reigning supreme from beginning to end. What we got and what made people angry was a nerfed fusion. People don't like their favorite characters being nerfed, be it in an anime, be it in a game, be it in anything. Even if said nerf is actually plausible when you look at it. So what does Toei expect from this outcome? For us all to just smile and nod and take it on the chin? No. People are gonna be furious. People are gonna feel swindled, like they were sucker punched or something. I personally believe that had they not cut the preview the way they did and stuck to their original version of the preview with less Vegito and more Trunks, not having Vegito until the very end 2 shots, there would be far less anger and frustration. So where do I stand? I think episode 66 was great. It had the right ending, superb animation, and we got to see Vegito kicking Zamasu's ass and Zamasu in mortal pain and crying like a little baby. With these reviews, I try to not look at Super with my nostalgia goggles on because I feel like as a reviewer, it's important to look at this relatively impartially with my knowledge of Dragon Ball as it is, not my feelings of when I was a kid, but just carrying my general feelings about how that episode went for what I know about Dragon Ball right now. This arc has been splendid. I have enjoyed it. I've gotten involved, I've gotten immersed, I've gotten angry, I've gotten loads of emotions. I cared, I gave a damn about this arc. I feel that with Super, you need to take the goggles off and look at it for what it is, an anime in 2016. This is a new chapter of Dragon Ball, not recovering what has already been done. We had that with Kai. If we don't allow Super to stand on its own 2 feet for what it is right now, it's not got a hope in hell in impressing anyone in the Dragon Ball community. So what did you guys think? Did you think the ending was fair? Was it the right thing to do? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini-ish rant and video, and I hope I didn't annoy you or anything, but I just felt like I needed to get it out there. But anyway, until the next time guys, be sure to like and subscribe. And until then, catch you later.